Hello, everybody. It is Thursday and it is time for the Boss Up Hub. I am your host, Dr. Nissa, and I am a nationally recognized chiropractor as well as a business coach. I help aspiring entrepreneurs as well as chiropractors start their business by giving them the blueprint to do so without making costly mistakes so they can do what? Turn dreams into dividends. I'm so glad to have you tonight. We're going to be talking about a major area, and it's time management because I'll tell you the number one of the most asked questions that I get from aspiring entrepreneurs, new docs, is, hey, how do you have time to do everything? So we're going to talk about three of my simple strategies that I use for time management. And I believe that when it comes to time management, you can use these steps in just your everyday life. So you don't have to necessarily own a business to use these steps. But if you do own your own business or you're aspiring to have your own business, these three strategies will definitely help you. So I'm going to do a series. So I'm going to break down each one of these strategies into three separate lives that we will do. And we're going to start tonight on step number one, which is prioritize. So we're going to do this live a little bit different. So I'm going to do it with a slide presentation so that you can have more information. And if you have any questions, I want you to definitely chime in because sharing, being involved in this wonderful dialogue helps out, and it may help someone else with the question that you ask. Also, if you know someone that needs some help when it comes to their time management, put their name in the comments area. Sharing is caring. We want more people to be involved in what we got going on tonight. And also, I want you to put your name, say hello, do something. Let me know that you are here. All right. Hey, Dr. Patrina, thank you so much for being here tonight, and so that we can acknowledge you. I'm going to try to save and push this on over to one of my other communities, which is called the Boss Up Hub. And if you like to be a part of that community, just find us on Facebook. I'd love to have you be a part of that as well. So I just did that. So let's go ahead and get into it tonight. No, step number one is prioritize. And I'm quite sure, everybody kind of understand what prioritize is, but we're going to go and give you some really action tips on how you can make this happen. But first, I like to ask a question. Do you ever find yourself at the end of the day wondering what exactly you accomplished? Now, if your answer is yes, you are definitely not alone. It never feels like we have enough hours in the day. I know for me, sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I really need 26 hours in a day instead of 24. So you don't but you do have the time. And so we're gonna show you how to exercise good wisdom with the time that you do have, because sometimes you're just taking up time doing non-essential tasks. And so we know that you really can't afford to throw away some of our precious minutes in a day doing things that are not essential to our goal. So we need to learn how to better manage the time that we already have. And so we're going to explore one of our three management strategies, which is going to be prioritized tonight in my series of three simple time management strategies for small businesses. So let's get to it. So we want to make sure that we have a to-do list, because the to-do list isn't enough, but you need to figure out which items are going to be essential when you're making your to-do list. So you want to start by making a list of everything that you have to actually do in one particular day. All right, so if you have more than 7 or 8, you need to trim your list. You need to take out everyday tasks. So we need to be asking ourselves, like, if I do just one thing today, what should it be? And you want to put that at the top of your list. So you got to look at how many items you have. You got to trim the list. You got to take out what you want to perform. So let's think about this. Let's say I, today I'm going to check my email. I'm going to make that as one of my high priorities on my list. And I don't care what else happens today. I'm going to trim this list down so that I can check all my emails. All right. So, one thing that you may have to do is you may have to, you know, set a time. I'm going to check emails from 1 to 3 o'clock. And it doesn't matter if the phone rings or whatever, you're going to have to just ignore that so that you can get through your list. You also want to you want to make sure that when you are negotiating your time, that you set a time to do that every week, the same time, all day, every day. All right. So the next thing is we want to now look back on some of the other items that we have on our list, and then we want to put those in the order of importance. So we want to kind of repeat and rinse. All right. So I say that like we figured out what that one thing that we wanted to do that was our top priority. Then we're going to look at our list again, and then we're going to make this next thing in the list our top priority. And we're going to keep doing this over and over and over again until we eventually end up with a list of things that we need to do from top to bottom as it relates to importance for us. So, the only way to prioritize without getting bogged down in unnecessary tasks is to consider the direct result that each task is going to have on our business. Which one is going to directly or indirectly impact our income? Because that's important. We want to get these coins, right? And our goals, because these are going to be our high impact tasks, and they should be our highest priority. So our next thing is we want to kind of look at how we're going to refine our to-do list. What are some of the things that we really can do to define or refine our to-do list? So we're going to talk about each one of these in a little bit more in depth. We got ranking our items. We're going to set deadlines for everything. We're going to categorize by work area, and we're going to break up these big overwhelming tasks. So the first thing we're going to do is rank our items. So we are going to create a scoring and ranking system, and I'm going to give you an example of how you should do that. Let's start with what needs to be done today. What absolutely I can't wait till tomorrow. I got to get it done today. Number two, we're going to rank what should be done today. Number three, what doesn't need to be done today. So we're going to plug our items into these categories, and then we're going to prioritize them within the category. Excuse me. So this is especially helpful if you have many small things to do. So again, we're going to categorize them. Needs to be done today, should be done today, and doesn't need to be done today. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to categorize by our work areas. So some people categorize by work related or personal tasks, and then when you do that, now you can kind of focus on one list that you have for work, and then you can focus on another list what you have for your personal life. You can also break this down into smaller areas for your work. We can also categorize by time. So if you have different tasks that you need to complete in the morning versus in the afternoon, you can now create categories by time of day or small to-do lists for each part of the day. All right, now we can begin to break up big tasks. So for anything that takes longer than a day, we really need to break it up. We want to break it up into daily milestones and put these into our to-do list. We want to remember that the goal is to have a simple system that works for you. So we want to use whichever method that makes prioritizing easier for you. All right, so the next thing we want to look at is what we call the back burner. We want to have 5 tasks, and we want to break the habit of thinking that you need to do everything. Now, I know that can be hard for some of us because we want to have our fingers all in everything and want to get everything done as fast as we possibly can, but we do have to break that habit of needing to do everything. So we want to be ruthless in throwing out tasks that aren't essential right now. So if it's nothing that we need really immediate, let's just remove that off of our task list. So what do you do with the items that you put on the quote the back burner? I'm so glad you asked. We don't want to throw them out. That's not our goal. We don't want to throw out our back burner items. We want to try a few different tactics when it comes to them. All right, so let's look at what those are. So we want to choose a day and a time that will take care of each of those items. We also want to set aside some time during the day when you can go over these less important things, such as maybe the end of the workday, when you're still at your desk or computer. You also want to delegate these tasks to someone else who can carry them out for you. In my particular case, I have a virtual assistant. So a virtual assistant will help me get some of my to-do list down where I kind of push that. You do that for me. Thank you so very much. All right. So you want to make a secondary list. So when you make a secondary list of tasks to get done, in case you finish your main list early and now you have time left over to kind of look at what you have to do for that particular day. So now what we're going to do is, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer any questions that you have to kind of keep up with, everything that you got going on. I just want to tell Dr. Forlandy, thank you so much for watching. Hi, Miss Hambersham. Thank you so much for being a part of what we have tonight. So I do want to leave you with a few action steps if you don't have any questions right now, but at any time you're more than welcome to put those questions inside of the chat. I will answer them whenever you look at this video. If you look at it later, make sure you do hashtag replay. That way I'll know that you're here. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So let's get some action steps, because I'm really, really big on giving you some work to do, because you can say all day I'm going to do this, but it's very, very necessary to have some action steps at the end of the day to get it done. So let's talk about number 1. We're going to create our to-do list. All right, so that was one of the things that I talked about in the beginning. To-do lists are great, but we want to make sure that our to-do lists are strategic. All right, so we want to start with our full list, and then we want to choose the one thing that we're going to do today. All right, that's just it. If you could only do just one thing, we're going to choose that one thing, and we're going to get that one thing done today. All right, so the next thing is we're going to repeat that first step, over and over again. So because at the end of our to-do list, we will have prioritized everything. I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to do this one second. I'm going to do this one third, so forth and so on, so that we know what we're doing. Okay. So next one is, which task will bring you the greatest income with the least effort? We need to do that first. We got to get those coins. Dr. Joy, thanks so much for chiming in tonight and watching. So if it's going to take less effort for us to get those coins, we're going to move that one up the list really, really fast. So it's going to give us the greatest income with the least efforts. That needs to be number 1. And then number 3, we want to look for items that we can either remove or we can delegate. All right. So when we talk about remove things, we're going to put that on the back burner. Doesn't mean that we're not going to do that. We're just not going to do it today. We're just not going to do it right now. It is not in our wheelhouse for immediate. Okay, we're going to do it later. Okay, or it could be very well be something that we can give to someone else to do with us. Another member of our team could make that phone call, or another member of our group can do that task for us. So we want to do that. So that's our action step. So I want you to write this down. I want you to start doing this tomorrow. When you get up tomorrow, I want you to create your to-do list. I want you to streamline your to-do list and make sure that you have them ranked in the order in which you should do them. And whichever that one thing on that list that you really want to get done, it needs to be number one. And then also you need to be ranking one the things on that task list on which one is going to make you some coins right now. And then lastly, hey, we're going to get some of this stuff off of us. We're going to give it to somebody else to do so we can have our sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. So I want to just say thank you so much for you guys being here tonight. I hopefully some of this information that I have given to you will help you along your journey as a entrepreneur, because it's very important that we have our own businesses and that we support each other's businesses that we have. If you saw something tonight that has driven something within you to want to have your own business and you need some help and some support, I am here for you. You can go to bossupfast.com, and I'll be happy to do a free strategy session with you to see how I'm able to help you with longevity in your business. I would love to do that for you. If you need for me to speak at any of your events, please go to drnisa.com. I'll be happy to come out and to share with you on any topic that has something to do with either health, wellness, or being in business. I appreciate your time tonight. Again, I'm Dr. Nisa. I am a nationally recognized chiropractor and business coach. I help chiropractors and entrepreneurs by giving them the tools to be able to start their business without making costly mistakes so they can turn their dreams into dividends. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night, and we will see you same time, same channel next week, Thursday at 7 o'clock.